Hello everyone. Welcome back to my gorgeous voice.
We got a few more minutes till one of the teams are ready, and then we can start the draft.
Yeah, we can
But
just
up
go
until
over
then, what are you hoping to see from placeholder with the draft this time?
way more lane priority. I think what we've just seen is what happens when you sort of like just draft losing lanes. You had a lane in the mid lane that goes even. Bot lane lost really hard. I think a large amount of that is Sivir's not only low range, even if she does have wave clear, but you're pairing it up with a Braum that has absolutely like no lane priority. Braum is a pick that you typically only go into engage support matchups, like the Nautilus, Leona, things like that, just to counter their engage and nullify them. And then in the top lane, you had a comfort pick in set, but you picked it so early that you can pretty much just pick anything you want into it. And we saw the Jax come out and just absolutely dominate the side lane.
That's the danger of always mini one characters. You know, your enemy knows who you play, so you're scared of like, oh, well, I want to get my character, but so you grab it too early, but then they get any counter in the sun. But on the other hand, if you don't pick it early enough, then they'll ban it out later on if they want a matchup that set's good into.
Yeah, they can force you off counter. I think the only way to do that is either just to sort of let everything kind of fall into place and then last pick it anyway, as long as you're comfortable with the matchup. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. What I would like to see from placeholder this time round is to early pick their bot lane and get a strong one. So I know that they like playing the Thresh. If the Thresh is open, pick that. It's always good in the lane. You can look to take any of the AD carry supports that are being played right now. Like
yeah, you can take
Misfortune.
the Caitlyn back.
yeah. You got the Caitlyn, you've got Ashe. Misfortune on support right now is incredibly strong with the press the attack. There's just a lot of options to go, so make sure that you're not giving up so much priority in the lane, because it will translate into you losing early dragons. You will lose plate-ins. You're incredibly vulnerable to tower dives because you get poked down. Zoning off XP, all of these things. It'd be interesting to see if they do go for a stronger bot side matchup. Yeah, see what else they can change, because there's still another 3 roles that they can pick for. So,
yeah, a lot of ways you can mix up the draft there, as long as don't repeat the same mistakes. That's the definition of insanity. But I do feel in solidarity with the set there. My most played Aatrox when I did team play, there was never a single game I was ever allowed to play that man. But because every team knows what you play, and when they see you have way more games on a certain character, they're either gonna bait you into a bad matchup, or they're just gonna ban it out every single time.
see, that's what you do. What some of the pro players do is they just have like a secret Smurf account that no one knows about. Play all of the picks they want to play in professionally there. Just make sure to hide them away. Tuck them in a corner somewhere.
Yeah, you had that Smurf top lane Shaco account, bring it out when they least expect it, and it's just you take over.
Top AP top lane Shaco is what I want to see from someone.
Hey, there might be a secret pocket here. Cause quite the upset.
What I am surprised actually is there's something that's sort of like repeatedly surprised me throughout like watching a lot of the games going on in the tournament is there's not that much priority in the mid lane in a lot of these games. There's none of these sort of like big strong mid lane picks to sort of like transition it over to side lanes. We haven't seen much of the Anivia come out. I think I've seen it a couple of times. There's not been much Rise. Talia hasn't been a pick that's shown up too much. Twisted Fate is something that I expected to see, just so I can roam to the sides, but I haven't seen much of that either. It mostly just seems like it's farming mages mid.
Yeah, it's been a lot of more supporty and scaly type mid laners playing out instead of things that either are like hyper threats or anything that's super roam heavy.
We did see the Cassidin into the Lissandra earlier that made me very happy, because it was Lissandra pick first and then casting counter pick into it, and Lissandra cannot punish that Cassidin, and it just means he gets to scale for free. So I was really impressed with that as a pick. We'll just see sort of like what counter picks end up coming out.
It does show the strength of a solo lane counter pick though. It's like you can pick a character and they just grab the thing that just shuts it down completely.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Lissandra's always going to find use, but you can't contest with a casting that gets a free lane. It looks like
Looks
the
like
players
both
might
teams
be
are
ready.
ready.
See when it starts and we'll get us into game.
Now this might all come down to draft once again. We'll see if, placeholder's able to get a more favorable draft, or if it's just going to fall in CBS's hand once again, and they're going to get 3 winning lanes.
I would very much like to see some bans taken away, either from the bot lane priority, so banning away that Caitlyn, banning away that Lux. We are going to see a Warwick ban come out straight away. It seems like that might be comfort for the jungle of CBS. But again, like mentioned earlier, fresh ban taken straight away. I think it's the champion that I've got the most comfort on, so I think they're just not going to risk anything and just ban it.
It's definitely banning more for player than for comp, which is definitely, it can be a trap, because on one hand, you're getting a really solid pick for that person. On the other hand, if they have an identity like they did with the Caitlyn Lux, that just strategy might be better than going for, what you play best.
Yeah, for sure. I am surprised to see that there's been no adaptation in the bans. It looks like they're just running it back. It looks like they're just going for the exact same thing as last time. I am a bit shocked not to see Caitlyn Lux bans, but it makes me wonder if they've got a bot lane pick ready for the first pick.
Yeah, either they're looking to counter or they're looking to take it for themselves. Either or, we hope that there's an answer for that.
Yeah, they definitely need to answer it. I don't think they can run back a low-range comp again. They are going to lock the Samira first. It might actually just be countered with a Draven straight away. I think
Samira is always a very risky first pick. She's one of the more counterable bot laners in the compositions right now, because she's very all-in, and you can find things that can either match her on that or just keep her out.
I would like to see either a Draven or a Caitlyn picked up right here. Just anything that can absolutely bully this lane. Let's see if CBS lock this one in. I would be very excited to see a Draven. Yep, there it is. There's the Draven answer. Straight into the Samira. This is going to be, again, a very painful lane. Especially with the Nautilus.
Draven Nautilus just shuts down Samira. She cannot move, and Nautilus CC, anything but his hook just gets right through there. And Samira will be knocked up, she will be rooted, and she will be bursted by this Draven.
See, if CBS now playing this lane correctly, they can zone them off level 1 again from XP and gold. It'd just be another snowball in the bot lane. It seems like they're sacking the priority to try and see if they can get it anywhere else. But, yeah, Seraphine's going to end up getting locked in here for the mid lane again, I expect. I don't think it will go into the bot lane. I'm just going to yoink that music out there. We'll see what actually ends up getting.
CBS does have R5 as well, so they will get a free pick for a counter pick in either mid or top lane as well. But it does look like we have mid and support now both chosen.
My burning hatred for Morgana in lane has come through again. Admittedly, it is a better pick into Nautilus, but again, you're giving up all of the lane priority over to the Draven Nautilus with this Morgana pick, because you still just lose to level 1. You can't walk up to the minion wave.
It definitely sets up Samir better for the late game, but again, like the early laning, that's giving up a lot of prio, so that Draven Nautilus will have free reign, and if jungle plays bot side, there won't be too much Samir Morgana can do.
Yeah, it does look like the same bans are actually coming out from both teams. Just to pick up on as well, a LeBlanc. I have not seen a LeBlanc yet picked in the league, so it will be interesting to see how this one goes. It is going to be played into the Seraphine or the Morgana, depending if they put that mid lane. It does look like the bans are just being run back. Doesn't seem to be much adaptation in the drafts. It might be a case of placeholder thinking that it's an execution issue. We are going to see the set ban, however.
There is the set ban, so that was the concern of the first game, where they wanted to pick it before it got banned in that rotation. And we do see it now down, so that top laner is forced onto something else.
Yeah, they're forced off their comfort, but at the same time, it might mean they might not get counterpicked. And there's the Udyr as well. Incredibly strong jungler right now, and a huge problem for them in the last game.
Banning the set does enable them to maybe R4 top here and give mid lane, or not mid lane, give their jungle a...
Is that an Ivern jungle? Right away. That's a blind pick Ivern jungle. Out of all the champions I was expecting, it was not Ivern blind pick in the jungle. Okay.
I was going to say, since they banned out the comfort top, they could have picked a top laner and kind of egoed on, hey, I know you're not in your comfort, and played any kind of matchup. But grabbing the Ivern beforehand, that might set their jungler a kind of really invade-heavy, dominant jungler that can abuse this Ivern, or...
There's the Lilia. It's power farm, baby. Power farm jungle. We'll have to see what they go for the blind pick in the top here. It is going to give counter pick over to CBS's top laner, but Ornn, incredibly safe. Very difficult to actually zone out of farm and everything like that. Very good. That's a Rengar top with an Ivern.
Rengar top.
They're doing Rengar Ivern. Oh my god. Okay, that is a composition. So you've got Draven Nautilus, which is absolute ego bot lane. You've got a LeBlanc in the mid lane to counter onto the Seraphine in the mid. And you've got a Rengar Ivan. Well,
This game will be interesting. It is quite the comp that they're going up against. I do think, if Placeholder is able to, keep it safe and just go for a neutral game in the early, they might be able to pull out on the scaling because it will become a lot harder for Rengar and Draven to start picking out, Lilia and Ornn when they get a lot tankier. And, getting a good engage with Ornn ult could set up Samir to get a bunch of kills. But as long as no one falls too far behind, this could be Placeholder's game.
Yeah, the other thing here as well is that if CBS gets ahead, they will not let go of this game. They will just steamroll over everything.
Rengar and Draven are both terrifying snowballers, and LeBlanc paired with them is just, you step up by yourself once and you are gone.
Yeah, they will need to execute well on this. It's a lot easier to play Placeholder's composition. Obviously, the Ornn into the Seraphine ultimate, and then just having sort of like Lilia and just kind of follow up with that. It is a lot easier to play, so that's sort of like on Placeholder side. But looking at CBS's comp, like if you get behind,
it is not one I would want to fight, especially if I was an ADC player.
Yeah, you will get absolutely ruined. Like this is a very, very difficult matchup to play.
It's really going to come down to how well Placeholder can get resources and group as 5, and CBS is going to want to look to split that team up as much as possible and get as much of a lead as they can early game.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. We'll just have to see how the early game pans out, see if they can actually snowball the lead, because if they do, I don't know how Placeholder can come back from that. But if Placeholder can hang on, they do have the more well-rounded composition to sort of like win team fights, play around the objectives, and close the game out. It's all just about execution for now. We'll have to see how the early game goes and see if there's any snowball from that, because I do worry for CBS's comp if they can't snowball the game.
I do wonder if we'll see a top lane camp with that Ivern Rengar synergy.
Possibly. You could also look for mid roams, to be fair. If you can shove the wave in as Rengar, you can definitely look to roam mid.
This game could be played out many ways by both sides, but it definitely will be a more shaken up comp than what we've been seeing before.
I will say that one thing that does sort of like worry me for the Seraphine mid lane. Oh no, wait, that's a Samira mid. It's Seraphine Morgana bot with a Samira mid. I've just realised who's got it locked. It's their mid laner. Unless they're swapping, unless they're changing lanes. But Samira mid into LeBlanc is... I don't know how that one would play out. In my mind, I imagine LeBlanc still wins that. But yeah, we'll see how that one plays out as well.
I mean, Samira can catch her if she takes a bad dash in, and she can kind of get a lot of damage off when she goes for the return. On the other hand, it is, an assassin into an ADC. There's just a lot of bullying that will happen after the first few levels when she gets her abilities to play with.
I'm also being told that it is quite possibly a Rengar Ivan bot. Meaning that the Draven would be top lane and the Nautilus...
We were analysing this draft all wrong. It is even more insane than we thought before.
We'll see how it goes into the game. I'd be incredibly surprised if it was, but
there's a lot of draft mind games going on here in terms of where people are going.
Yeah, all the analysis kind of goes out the window if they've absolutely swapped everything up. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, if that's what it is, ignore everything we said in the last 3 minutes.
Oh my god. It is. It's Draven top.
It is.
It's Draven top, Nautilus jungle, LeBlanc mid, Rengar AD carry, Ivan support.
I'm going to be honest, this does actually make it look a lot more in the Placeholder's favor because of where they're going.
Yeah, that's a bit of an ego, I think.
But if the ego works in their favor, you got bragging rights for what you pulled off here.
I mean, yeah. No! Okay, there
Hey, rewind at the invade while everyone's getting the lane. Reshare that.
Ah! Time controls, there you are. We'll go back to the invade here. Yeah, okay. There we are, we'll have it on direct to camera. Get rid of the time control again. Get rid of that. There we are. Yeah, I'll just show over the invade while everyone's just sort of setting up for their first camp. This is actually sort of like what happened here. Just the LeBlanc face palming it into the wall.
She goes in, sees the first one, tries to flash, messes it up, and gets picked off.
Can also see here that the Ornn had bot item, so the Bramble Vest start was actually a possibility, which would have been absolutely hilarious.
It does look like he opted, just to get a Ruby Crystal and a Doran Shield after doing that.
Let's just
if we skip back to where we are.
There we go.
But not a bad start, as Doran Shield will help you with the Draven poke, and you'll also just have more help to deal with the Ruby Crystal. Yeah, Rengar Ivern lane looking pretty normal. Rengar just jumping on whenever he can, getting the farm otherwise.
We are also seeing... Oh my god, that is a big trade onto LeBlanc there as well. Yeah, we are seeing the Rengar take quite a bit of damage early on, but they do still have that potion there to heal them up, and they will be shielded from the Ivern. This is going to be a very painful lane for this Ornn, though. They are not going to be able to hit the minions.
No, he's most definitely going to be shoved in all game. Draven's never going to stop pushing because, he wants his stacks on his Q. But on the other hand, Ornn can't really fight him.
This is a kill. That's a kill.
Well, yeah, that's Exhaust and Ignite going on the Rengar. Will he be able to, walk out, get his skull up? He jumps back in, tries to get that last pick to trade his life, but is going in favor of Placeholder.
Ooh,
the ego
Airy.
picks do not be looking good. Someone Airy picking off the Morgana there, leaving Seraphine to farm and a support down and the Rengar down.
I also just realised the Rengar died with barrier up. They could have lived there. Big trade onto Samira there, just blocking the electrocute. This is a top gank though. I do think the Rengar should, the Draven should be able to run out. There's the flash.
We get the knock up on Ornn. The flash comes out.
This is a kill.
Draven does get damage. Draven might be able to turn as he ignites. Lilia is forced to flash. She will barely live, but she is very low, and there's not much they can do to engage on this Draven here.
Draven has no mana. He could just walk up and just kill her now. This could be a counter kill.
That is a kill onto a Draven. A couple stacks gone out.
That's another.
Ornn does back out, and that is another. Oh, 1 HP.
Oh, wow.
Ornn barely lives.
Yeah, that was incredibly low single digit. The Nautilus has roamed up here, though. The Nautilus could actually finish this off.
Yep, this could be a dive if they get Wave Under in time. Ornn is not looking to back, so this could be...
That is it.
There goes the root and the W, and that is a pick on the Nautilus.
We're also seeing the LeBlanc coming down here looking for a kill. Director camera's not doing it, so I'm going to do it manually. They're just going to walk out. There's just no way to follow up. It is just zoning them off of the XP over here, look. And it just means...
Yeah, no, Wave is kind of held for Ivern Rengar, but it does look like it will start pushing out sometime soon.
It will, but either way, they're losing experience, they're losing gold. It's just really painful. The Morgana's still level 2.
Samira is a level up on the LeBlanc, getting some damage traded. Electrocute does proc, but Samira is a little bit up for that trade, and we do see Nautilus try to get that pick, but she's over the wall, and that hook does not reach over.
Really well played there with the combo. You can see the power of it coming out.
Yeah, but Lilia is here to answer, and will they get any kind of picks here, or will they just back out? Lilia ganks are a lot less scary early without the 6, and Ivern is low mana as well.
Well, sure is entertaining.
Well, yeah, see, that is the LeBlanc Samir matchup, is whenever that dash is going to go for it, LeBlanc is just going to instantly, blink back from it, and that's, Samir's engage for the next
We could definitely
20
see a mid
seconds
lane
on
gank here.
cooldown.
Samira's W is still down. He has to dodge, doesn't dodge it. That's a kill.
That's going to be a lot of damage. That's the pick. Ignite coming out, Electrocute, and the chain. See, that is the vulnerability of playing these ADCs in the solo lane, is you are a lot more vulnerable to ganks than you otherwise would be. Your self-peel is quite limited, and, Samir wants to use her W both for damage and for peel, and you can't use it for both.
Yeah, wow. Really good sort of like kill there onto the Samira, just punishing the fact that W was down and she was a bit too much in the lane. Hadn't warded on the side correctly.
She ends up losing a lot of XP for it, too, that Lily has to catch for her.
I will say
we're seeing...
oh, wait.
Go ahead.
That's a kill. That's another one.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
walking
Rengar
too
picking
far
off
up.
that just insane assassin damage paired with the Ivern, shielding him. Just a lot of damage that comes out. Even, with how far back they were playing, it just, that hop, 200 damage in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, hopping from the mid bush onto the minion there, back into the other bush. You just see the Ornn getting bullied here as well. It is going to have to be a team fight angle for placeholder. But the snowball looks like it is starting. You've got kill on the Blanc, you've got a kill down in the Rengar, doubling or more than doubling the CS. CS differential in the top lane is absolutely massive, with a kill and assist going over as well. It is just overall incredibly painful to play.
Yeah, no, the first few minutes looked really good for placeholder, but now it's just starting to look in the favor of CBS. Nautilus does get the engage behind. It is kind of awkward because Draven can't immediately follow up, but on the other hand, they aren't able to burst Nautilus.
That was close.
Ooh. Yeah, Draven barely scraping by. Nautilus still here looking for the Lilia. Is able to get it and is able to get out. Will Ornn be able to finish him off with a Q and an auto? Doesn't look so. Draven will be doing this. He will get the pick, but he will die to turret. But he does get his cash out.
258 gold from the cash out. 258 extra gold for the cash out. Absolutely worth it to tower dive there, especially because no shutdown went over. It's nearly a kill's worth of gold extra. Oh my god, the Essence Reaver's finished. Oh, that's so painful. This is not going to be a fun
Essence
game.
Reaver right off the bat, he'll be able to just bully with his abilities all in. He'll never run out of resources, and Ornn will just continue to be pushed under. Nautilus might just repeat dive top lane, getting Draven more and more ahead.
Oh, this could be a good trade.
Samira looking for the engage, catches the blink back on LeBlanc. Is she able to full stack her 6? She is able to get it, but LeBlanc is, safely in her tower now, and the damage just is not there. But it is a healthy, good trade. Ooh, Ivern picked out by the root. All the damage coming out. The shield comes in, but Lilia is here to help as well, and Seraphine gets that pick on Ivern.
Really well played. That's just another overextension from the bot lane here. Just going straight into the Morgana binding. Just nothing you can do. There's so much CC in this bot lane that if you overextend it, you will die. Looks like
Lilia does find Nautilus in the jungle, but this is not a fight that Nautilus wins by himself, and she might just run him down in this jungle. But Nautilus backs off because LeBlanc was rotating, and Lilia decides not to chase him deeper in with Ivern coming up off of respawn.
I am going to be really interested to see how this game ends up playing out, because this CBS comp, while it can snowball, is going to be very, very, very difficult to execute on, especially coming up to the team fights. And they're going into a Lilia sleep. Oh wait, gank in the mid lane.
Oh yeah, are going off on Samira. Samira looking to trade onto the LeBlanc. Get some good damage. She's between her and her blink location, so she can't freely get out, but Nautilus is not letting Samira move. LeBlanc does get the kill off on Samira. It is a 1-for-1 trade. Lilia looking to go. She might have been able to dive that, but she might have been too low mana to get that last spell off.
I also just think she's worried about the CC coming through from the Nautilus.
It definitely could, kill her and get on a dive.
God, that top lane is not fun.
I've been caught in too many Ornn lanes where, you fight an ADC and your game doesn't start for 14 minutes.
Yeah, it's not going to be a fun one to play. We'll have to see what happens in the team fights and if they can sort of turn this gold lead back around. But they're not down by too much. It's around about a 3,000 gold lead over to CBS, but they have a very, very hard comp to execute. They really do need to be snowballing this more, because a large amount of that gold lead is on the Nautilus. It's not on the Rengar.
Yeah, Nautilus building tank as well. There's not going to be any extra damage out of the team. He'll be able to, lock down someone a little longer, but when no one's able to, provide damage for that follow-up, it starts to not become worth it because, Samir will start stacking or, damage will just start building up, and Lilia and Seraphine as well will just be able to do a lot of damage in a team fight to many targets at once.
What we are also saying is Samira is actually handling herself pretty well into this LeBlanc matchup as well. LeBlanc isn't able to get the pressure down. The only thing that's really sort of gone down is... Oh wait, Rengar ult coming in.
Rengar coming in, Daisy coming out. Morgana is exhausted. She cannot move that quickly, but she is able to make it to turret.
There was also a flash in the top lane there from Draven with the Ornn coming out.
Nautilus ult going off on Lilia. Draven looking in on Lilia, getting some good damage out. One auto doing 300 damage, getting the R return to cash him out, and getting a double kill on the Draven as he pushes back into turret to secure some more plates.
Yeah, this game's getting a little bit out of hand. That's nearly a 5,000 gold lead by 11 minutes. That is going to be very, very, very difficult to play around. And especially when it comes... Oh, wait. This could be a huge mistake from the Samira here.
Ooh, the root coming out for the LeBlanc. Nautilus, rooting again on the Samira, getting that damage off. She's able to flash out, but she is down health, and LeBlanc will be able to get pushed in and either get a free reset or prio for this dragon.
Yeah, big mistake there going in with the E, especially when she didn't have vision of where the enemy jungler was. You also have your top lane and your jungler have just gone back to base.
We do see Lilia fighting Nautilus over these rafters, but LeBlanc is there and mid is reset, so she might have to give this up if they can test her on it. But it looks like they will give it to her, and Nautilus will be walking towards bot lane to secure his Gromp.
I think Lilia's just checked over the wall with her E just to see if Dragon's going down. They can just back away from it. Ward gets dropped by LeBlanc just to make sure that placeholder don't also just start on the Dragon.
I do think Placeholder might be able to, force these objective fights, though, because, while they are starting to snowball, they are, single target picks. And if they're kind of clumped up, it'll be a lot harder for, Rengar and LeBlanc to perform anything into this team.
This could be a kill here, though.
Ooh, that's 2 ults going off the Rengar. We see the cleanse. These shields coming out from Ivern to pull back. Lilia shows up. That is a stun going up. That is Lilia ult going as well. Ivern does die here, but Rengar should be able to make it out alive.
Rengar ult has been dropped. They might look to go on the Seraphine here. It looks like they might just back away.
Yeah, Rengar's fishing out, but Seraphine is not playing his game. He's fully backed off. Goes in on the Morgana. Gets rooted. The damage goes out, and Morgana lives. But Nautilus is here in the bot lane as well. He might be looking to try to grab a pick. Lilia eats the hook.
Ooh, really
the art
well
comes out on Morgana.
Nautilus.
Black shield just runs out. Nautilus looking both to pick up Seraphine as well. But Lilia will kind of start running him down, but that mana is low. Draven Axe is trying to snipe Seraphine, but Seraphine's staying just out of range.
That's the turret
with first
going
turret
down
falling
well.
top lane.
I don't think they can 2v1 this. I think Draven wins that, especially with the...
Ornal also missing on the Draven. Draven will just auto, 3 times and the Samira falls. You do not want to be missing that CC because, while Draven is this far ahead, if you can just burst him with Samir damage in, 3 seconds, he does just die. He is an ADC after all.
That's 5 kills, all of the turret plates, and first turret goal going over solo. This CS lead and this gold lead is absolutely massive in the top lane. We definitely know who's going to be carrying this one. We are also seeing the Jack Show come out from the Nautilus. It's going to make him actually pretty deadly trying to get onto those targets. He will do a surprising amount of damage. We are also seeing the mid lane just sort of like trying to get pushed in by the LeBlanc there. It will just freeze near the Samira's tower. She'll now roam down, sort of like try and contest for the vision and the picks in and around the dragon area. Does look like there might be threat on the Samira here with the LeBlanc going in. Chain lands.
Yeah, the chains will go out. Ivern follows with the Q. That is going to be a lot of damage, but she might not be picked here just because, she's at the angle. Nautilus can't reach her. Seraphine also getting root off on Rengar and backing out before he's able to hop back from the bush. A lot of CC coming out, but nothing's able to be picked out.
Very, very, very close hook on the Morgana there with the Black Shield going down. Both junglers hovering bot side. This could be a huge misstep for placeholder here.
Ooh, Morgana's rooted. We see the Seraphine R coming through, hitting both her ally and the Nautilus. Nautilus opting to knock Seraphine, avoiding the bushes like the plague so the Rengar can't get more than one hop. Rengar rooted once again, but he is healing a lot, but Lilia will start, burning through this health. She's starting to get hit a lot by Rengar. She's picked off. Nautilus, doing plenty of damage with his tank build still, but it is traded 2 for 2 with the support and jungler living on each side respectively.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a bit of an ego play, but I'm not a big fan of this Rengar. Rengar here in the bot lane. It does have a huge CS lead though, but I definitely think like Caitlyn Morgana, sorry, not Caitlyn Morgana, Caitlyn Ashe, something like that would have given you a bigger lead, especially in terms of getting the platings as well. We'll see how it works.
Yeah, we saw
out.
how they were abused the pressure, but now they can get these kills, but they can't get meaningful pressure to secure anything. And it took 15 minutes just to secure this first dragon. Even though they were winning lane, they just were not able to find the time to be able to do anything, just because the pressure that Morgana and Seraphine can exert over Rengar Ivern is just a lot more with a lot less gold.
We do, however, see the Rift Herald is actually here on the Draven. It looks like he might try and get another plate here in the top side. Samira is here though.
Yeah, we do see the Ornn Samira gank going again. Maybe Ornn will land his R this time and they'll be able to burst out Draven, maybe get his shutdown transfer to Samira and getting some gold back on the plate for placeholder.
Draven does still have flash. Lilia's up here as well. They're just covering the lane because they know who's overextended, but I think they're afraid to commit to the play.
Yeah, no, one CC ability that misses and, Draven just kills them all, so they do have to be very careful about it. But Samira did have to collect her mid-wave. The Rift Herald does come out, but Lilia is here. The Draven looking to go lethal on her. One auto does 1 for her HP. Just deletes her before the sleep comes out. Samira is here. The R is coming out on Ornn. The knockup will come out. We'll see Samira follow up. The W will block some damage. She does get the shutdown.
That is a massive amount of gold going over to the Draven.
Samira getting, pick up that much gold will be really good for team fight, and that will start forcing them to, focus her in a team fight. Because she does become a much larger damage threat. Seraphine are whiffing the Rengar, only hitting Daisy. And we see that pick on Morgana as well. LeBlanc being engaged in Samira. Lands a chain, it roots. Nautilus there to follow up. The W comes out a little too early. He's able to get a free Q. She tries to dash out, and she flashes, and it looks like she shall live.
Yeah, a bit of an early double, but W was able to get away with the flash there. Just not blocking the Nautilus hook. A little bit of mind games going on with the Nautilus hook being held until the W went down. Could be a dive on the bot lane,
scary thing with a lot of scary things with Qs and hooks in general is just, the longer they hold them, the more anxiety you get for the person trying to dodge it, because they'll start sidestepping and they'll try to avoid it. We just see some poke off Nautilus as he gives up on the invade, and Lilia's in the area, Morgana just coming back to lane.
It is always incredibly fun to just sort of like hold your hook or hold your main CC and just have someone sidestep in front of you and you just run them down because they're too busy trying to dodge. Always good to play the mind games, especially when you've got a high impact ability like a Nautilus hook.
You always hit your blitz Qs if you start with your E.
Exactly. Well, unless you mean.
I mean, I've missed a still target before. It happens. Knockups, they look like they're in a weird spot. You never know where they are, right? Happens all the time.
Right, guys? Right? It's not just me.
Stop blaming me. I'm trying my best. We do see 3 grouped up on the Draven here top lane, as well as 3 grouped on the bot lane as well.
Ooh. This is just going to be another kill on
Oh,
Morgana.
there's the Rengar engage on Morgana. She does not have a stopwatch to use her R to, stun Rengar there, and Seraphine tries to chip some damage in, but it's nothing to contribute.
I'll turn this bond to be a little bit helpful. This Draven continues to be incredibly oppressive, especially with the Blanc hovering around the top side. There's just no one here to bail this one out. Draven's just free farming nearly at 10 CS a minute, 6 kills, 2 assists. He's already got 2.5 items. And the Ornn's just still sitting on components. And it looks like this turret will end up going down soon enough. Bot lane turret has just dropped to the Rengar. I was able to get the solo.
We do see Nautilus and LeBlanc collapsing Samir once again. The R comes out immediately. The knock goes in. A lot of damage off from LeBlanc. The chain as well. The root is there. Now LeBlanc's backed off. Samir can't find that pick on her and is killed by Nautilus once again.
Game's not as snowbally as the last one. I think it's because the champions are a bit harder to siege and execute on, but this gold lead is absolutely massive. It's 11,000. It's going to be a kill on
again to sleep off on LeBlanc. She does fall.
Flash
Nautilus
gets wasted
is walking
as well.
out. we just see Nautilus in a lot of these fights, either being the last one alive, picking off the last person, or just having to walk out.
Yeah, this Nautilus is absolutely unkillable.
Also, he's really playing on, I don't have allies anymore, so my job's done.
Watching him be unkillable and walk around with the Nautilus animation as well is absolutely fantastic, because that is one of the best walking animations in the game. I love it.
He's got places to be. He's taking a nice jog. We do see wards being cleared off in the bot jungle that were secured by CBS, and Placeholder is looking to, regain some ground while this drag's starting to come up.
Yeah, 30 seconds till the dragon. They want to set up for it. They do have the teleport on Ornn, so Ornn can shove a wave out and TP down, and it means that the Draven won't be there unless he wants to just throw his ult out. But,
it will be a very late Soul if Soul ever comes into play this game, because the first drag was secured at 15 minutes, so this next one's coming up in about 21 minutes.
Could be a bit ambitious from the Ivan here, though.
Ivan going kind of deep in. Lilia getting some good damage out. Exhaust comes in. Nautilus hooks the wall. Samir getting her full stack of her R. Gets the full cast, or not the full cast on Nautilus, but does get some meaningful damage. And the jungler is picking another shutdown onto Samira. That is a lot of gold on a very strong carry.
We'll look to see if LeBlanc can actually sort of get any picks or damage off here, but I don't think she'll be able to, just getting zoned away with Q.
It does thin the gap on gold. We were looking at 11k before, and now it is 8k, with the drag bounty also being secured, and those personal bounties going into Samira. Not looking good for CBS, given those to such a strong carry.
Yeah, it's again, I think it's that case of their composition's harder to execute. It's harder for them to set up around objectives, harder for them to siege, and I think we kind of see it play out there, just being over-eager on a pick and losing out.
Yeah, as well, just some poorly placed spells, going in on Ivern's Q by himself, as well as Nautilus hook just hitting the wall. Definitely misplays you don't want to be having in those tight fights with such a hard comp to pull off.
You can see the Ivan as well, just not really having a good game. I know it's there just as a support character for the Rengar, but when you're snowballing like this, you don't want to be down 1-4. You should be the one with 0 deaths.
Yeah, definitely. From the 3 kills that were able to be grabbed by Placeholder the previous game, having 13 to 18, while they're still ahead CBS as well this game, it's not looking as big of a lead as before, and with the team comp being how it is, you want to have just as big of a lead as the last game, if not larger.
Baron being started again though, we saw this in the last game. Will Placeholder actually react to this one though, because last game they just let it go down for free without even knowing it was going down.
They are in position to move in, and it does seem like they're doing it. LeBlanc is zoning,
Baron's
but
gone.
they might be able to pick it before they even get the Ornn to start the engage. They move it in. They do get E hit on Lily for 2 of the targets, but Lily will start to be picked here. Ornn ult is coming out. Sleep is coming out.
Combo.
We get a lot of damage off, but a lot of the damage is picked. Samira does fall. Lilia falls. It is left to Seraphine and Ornn. They do not have the damage to fight this, and they are being ran down by this Rengar. The ult comes out, but she is picked, and Ornn is the only one to live to tell the tale.
4-0 and Baron going over. That's going to inflate the gold lead even more, and it might just give them enough what they sort of like need to close this game out. Really well played wombo combo there from Placeholder, but they just went too late.
Yeah, a little too late, and a
already
few
down.
people were straggled in that combo, so they weren't able to get full damage, and Samira was picked quite fast after the combo had started.
Gonna see Inhibitor go down. That's going to be another point of pressure. They could just move Draven and sort of like the other champions into the bot side and just continue getting towers. I think what we will see here is a reset from CBS. They're just going to sort of reset back by clear out this bottom jungle. And then I'd expect to see him transition into pushing the bot lane, probably doing a 4-1. Have someone pressure in the mid lane like the Blanc that can get away easy, just buff up the Baron minions, get them sieging onto the Inhibitor, and use the rest of the champions just to siege on these bot lane turrets. While I say that, Draven's just going to take it solo.
He's not waiting for anyone. He wants his gold, and he just wants to get richer and richer.
Could have been a really big overstep here though if he can get caught. Flash
Yeah,
commit by
Nalus is
Samira.
lurking nearby, but the black shit will make it hard for Nalus to do anything. Draven is able to live and get that cash out on Samira. Delete her, delete Morgana, and now Seraphine's all left. Even though, you know, Draven's that low, she just will not be able to put out the damage, and that is 3 picks with just those 2.
Yeah, it's a massive, massive, massive lead for the Draven there.
It's a well-played bait. He just dropped 2 axes. That hurt to see.
It's okay, I can't pick up axes on Draven either. But yeah, again, it's like another 3 kills down. It looks like this will just be the bot lane turret. You can see Rengar shoving in the mid wave here. They still have Baron for a little while longer. I think this is just going to be a 3 inhibitor closeout right now.
Only the Nexus turrets remaining with all
Big
like two inhibs about to be down. That might be 3. Lilia getting picked here, forced to sleep.
That could be a
Draven
death.
falls asleep but is out of turret. LeBlanc might die to turret, but Iron Shield comes in and blocks that entire shot. Ornn comes out. Draven's forced to flash.
That
They
is the
try to
3
secure
inhibs.
these inhibs, and it looks like they're backing up. That is triple inhibitor taken down. That is a lot of pressure onto Placeholder.
Ivan going down at the back end there, but I feel like this game is very much a foregone conclusion. Baron's
I know, as long
down.
as CPS waits for, you know, everyone to respawn, they just push
They could
back.
actually
Like,
just
that
lose a
turret's
Nexus
dying
turret
to beans right here.
It does look like it's going to live, but that's 3 inhibitors down. You can see the next wave of super minions coming down. There's going to be 6 crashing near the same time. Dragons coming up, so Placeholder can't get back out on the map and contest that because they will just lose their base. I think the only saving grace here is that there's no teleports on the side of CBS, just for any backdoor threat or just to pressure whenever they try and contest something else. But either way, the game is going to be incredibly difficult to come back from. Nearly impossible.
I don't even think CBS would be wanting to look for drags here. I mean, only 1 drag was secured on both sides. Soul's not really going to be a factor in this game. It's really just if they want to try to end now, if they want to wait for the Baron to just get one more push with all these inhibitors down.
I think the best play here is just to close out as soon as possible because you've got such a ginormous gold lead. It's 16,000. It looks like they are going to ping and go back
Looks
off
like they
for the Baron.
do want the dragon.
No, dragon, sorry. It's just going to give more time and gold over to Placeholder for now, but the gold lead is so massive and there's still supers coming in that it might just be a case of once they've got the dragon, they'll just push it and end the game.
Red team has slain the dragon.
You can see any vision outside of the base is just being cleared out here by the mid and jungle of CBS.
Was that?
Just sort of like slowly strangling them out. What I would like to see is them... Oh, wait, could be a pick.
Yeah, Morgana being hit by those damage, she loses half her health. She is able to live, but that is just more damage taken by the team.
It looks
Should be able
like
to just reset the
they're-
Nexus, but that is pressure gone off.
Yeah, it looks like CBS are just waiting for their waves to crash in. You can see the top wave and mid wave are crashing around about the same time. They do have a bot wave here that's also crashing. So I feel like as soon as these super minions start getting near the turrets, this will be the closeout. Oh my god, that damage.
With the hook going out on the Morgana, Black Shield was not up. She is able to be stalling her death with stopwatch. Damage going on both sides. Samir ult coming out. Samir is picked by the Draven. Draven just, every action does so much damage to each one of them, and the entire team is wiped. Catching Seraphine on the return.
And that is a huge
team
kill
wipe.
the game out. Wow, what a stomp,
And next
a
is
very,
Take.
very interesting composition to come out as well. What a game. What a game. Well,
All they had was one mid laner that was in the proper lane. Everyone else was off meta on that team.
yeah, I really was not expecting that, and I don't think Placeholder expected the way the lineup goes either there. Just to have like Draven top into the Ornn expecting probably to go up against the Rengar top. There's not much I say. Interesting composition, and it genuinely worked out. I think it largely came off the back of the Draven just getting such an absolutely huge lead. There were multiple sort of like kills given over early game, and he just sort of like snowballed out of control from there.
Yeah, he ended that game with 19.5k, with the closest behind being, Nautilus, who had 11k. So a 8,000 gold lead over the second highest in the game, and over 10k over almost everyone except for mid lane on Placeholder's side. So it's such a disgusting lead. He's up 3 items over everyone. It's just not much you can do about that much damage.
Quite literally full build by 26 minutes. Full build.
Draven is quite the moneymaker.
It's 36,500 damage compared to the next highest in the game, which was actually the Samira, which was 13,000. So nearly triple in the second most damage in the game as well. That is an absolute snowball. Ginormous lead for the Draven to help close out. And not only that, but there's level 17. Yeah,
he was in side lane all game, just getting his free XP and bullying out Ornn. So, I mean, he was just free to get all the resources he needed. And anytime people went for ganks, something would go wrong, and he'd just get that pick.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to have a double interview here. So we are just going to move over to the prep station and sort of like get words from two of the players. Yoink. Hoping that works. There we go.
What a comp, lads. What a comp.
It was in fact a composition.
We were we cooked it up a while ago already.
We were cooking.
We were analyzing it the wrong way the entire time during pick. We thought, it was the Draven Nautilus bot lane to counter the Samira, which then they had mid lane.
Yeah.
And we thought it was the Rengar top with the Ivern jungle to camp the lane, but no, it was definitely none of that.
I mean, it caught us off guard, so I'm assuming it also caught Placeholder off guard. And we had more information than what they did.
Yeah, I mean, last time we went Ornn jungle, right?
I mean, just as I'm really curious, sort of like, what was the thought process behind this like game 2 pick and bans then? Like, was it a plan from the get go that you'd just be swapping up the lanes and sort of like baiting them to thinking that you're in the in the different positions to actually what you took?
So, I can talk a bit more about this since I'm usually the guy, I guess, quote unquote, directing drafts for the team.
He's the only one paying attention.
That too, yeah. But that's partially why I'm the one directing drafts usually. So, we primarily looked at Rengar Ivern as the main thing we wanted to try because we feel like it can be really strong, catch a lot of people off guard, and we thought this would be a good game to test it. And, well, the test didn't go great from my perspective because I messed up a lot of combos, but that's a whole different topic. We built from there, largely looking at what else can we do. The Draven top was mostly an answer because we needed some ranged DPS, and Nautilus jungle was frontline, and our jungler, he likes playing just tanky champions for the frontline. Like, he's played Ornn jungle so far, and now the Nautilus pick. And the mid lane pick was largely just, we wanted some more early game power since, when you're going Draven, Rengar, Ivern, you want your lanes to be strong early.
You also definitely need a bit more CC in there as well, and I feel like the Nautilus actually rounds that comp out quite nicely. But yeah, I was genuinely shocked when I sort of like saw the lane assignments. I've obviously known that Rengar Ivern is a thing, but I was definitely surprised to actually see it, especially when Draven and Nautilus is already locked.
I will say, it being Morgana Seraphine over Samira really kind of messed us up at first.
That's also
we weren't expecting that either. We were expecting the Samira with, the Morgana bot and Seraphine mid.
Yeah. It kind of caught us off guard first, because we were like, oh, this is really good for us. Samira short range has to, get close. And then Seraphine is very much the opposite of that.
How'd you guys feel with, the early game pick? Orden got that first pick. He didn't even buy items yet, if you guys noticed that. He didn't buy any items and got that first blood, so he could have started with a full Bramble against that Draven, and, it could have been a lot harder for Lane. As well as, just the early gold. I think there were like 3 picks that went to placeholder before you guys started taking over the game, which kind of looks kind of scary when you have that hard of a snowball comp.
I mean, the thing is, right? Okay, the first one I'm not counting because I don't know what I was thinking at that point.
It's a nice flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were laughing about that in the voice chat.
Oh yeah, that was really fucking, really stupid. But after that, I mean, game kind of evened out. I mean, bot lane went not great, but we know that our players are probably good enough to bring it back. And we don't like him picking it, but our top laner can actually play Draven top.
He definitely ran away with that game. The gap between the second richest player and him is just obscene.
Yeah. We thought game 1 was like, okay, we'll try to take this serious. We'll see how it goes. And we kind of picked a comp that we usually play. And then game 2 was more like, how can we spice it up? How can we have more fun with it?
Yeah, and test out some picks as well and see how things go. Because having the Rengar Iron in the back, I guess, and the Draven top can be pretty scary to face for some teams.
I mean, we did say on the cast straight away that it is basically an ego draft when we saw all the lane assignments. But
it was.
Yeah,
full center.
Full send the ego draft. I'm down for that. But yeah, it's largely just sort of like the Draven running away with the game with the absolutely free lane that they get into the Ornn. So I mean, it definitely works out. If your ego draft works out, then keep doing it.
Yeah.
It gives you quite the bragging rights, and your game's like, hey, we pulled off, what, you can't beat an Ivern? You can't beat an Ivern support?
I wouldn't say they pulled it off.
No, I mean, definitely didn't pull it off, I'll be honest.
Practice more.
Yeah, I'll just say it this way. It's a good thing the voice chat doesn't get recorded along with the game.
Hey, you only got to brag about the results, not the mishaps that got you there.
Yeah. It went perfect. Not a single mistake in that entire match. We'll pick it again.
The second game was the longest game we've played so far, so that's something. And we also lost 2 Drakes this series, which was also something. And both times really our players slipping up, but we don't.
I like how you say our players. It wasn't me.
It was you, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I've been called out for this. You probably noticed as well. I very much enjoy just roaming around the enemy jungle for warding and stuff.
Yeah.
To the chagrin of our AD carry and everyone else.
It was very fun to watch Nautilus be in like these fights, and then everyone else would die. He'd like finish the last person, just kind of walk off like, oh, everything's done here. Because he was left alive a lot of fights. He only died twice that game, but there were a lot of fights where like he'd be the LeBlanc, you'd be picked off. Or you'd be with anyone else.
So, do you guys know your next matchup and how you feeling for that now, especially after this game?
I think we play McDonald's Freedom Fires.
Maybe.
But I'm not... wait, let me check the schedule.
You are against ADD, I believe.
Yeah, we're against ADD. I just checked.
Okay. Yeah, ADD. So
I would say we're still fairly confident about that. We try to enter every match with confidence, and well, you saw game 2.
Yeah. If you can pull it off, then pull it off.
Yeah.
But
and if we play seriously, you saw game 1.
Yeah. Just keep the confidence up. Keep going for it. As long as it doesn't backfire, then you're all good. And you can also sort of like, you can get the mental advantage by making other teams definitely scared of you, especially when you've got picks like this that you can run away with.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever flash that Rengar again, they're gonna be thinking it's a bot the entire time.
Or Ornn or Nautilus jungle.
Keep them guessing. Keep them on their toes.
So those wildcard picks.
Pick Draven. They won't know where it is.
But yeah,
we've had that with Seraphine, but so far it's always been mid.
Yeah, I'll congratulate you guys on the 2-0 win. Very entertaining one, especially for us casting. We had a lot of fun with it, and yeah, congratulations and good luck for next week.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot.
Guys.
And we'll see you guys.
Yeah, well played.
Well played, man. Just realised that I've accidentally come out of the Discord when I didn't mean to. I'll end stream.